It's week 4 in the NFL. Let's get right into it. Everybody, welcome back to my favorite NFL podcast, the Feathers' favorite NFL podcast. And if you watch long enough today, pretty sure this is going to become your favorite NFL podcast too. We're here to look at all the games and the spreads for week 4 in the NFL. Let's look at week 3 really quick. Our overall record so far, minus the Monday night game, because we are recording this Monday afternoon. 8-7 last week overall. A couple of games, just those odd things that happen at the end, some of which we'll touch on, mucked those scores up for a lot of people, and those people in the Circa Survivor pool. A lot of people got brutalized by some of those endings.
Yep.
Last week, 1-1 on your Take It to the Bank picks. Those are the key picks that we always have each week. I might have heard from a little birdie, we have a few Take It to the Bank picks this week. So stay tuned and see if that's true. Let's start in with the Thursday night game at 5:15 p.m. We are starting off with the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. The Seattle Seahawks coming off of a drubbing of the New Orleans Saints, which may not be saying much, but in this matchup, Arizona Cardinals are -1, basically the favorite at home.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals, they fell short and were on the wrong end of the stick against San Francisco. They also lost their top running back, the trusty James Conner.
He's hurt?
Yeah.
How did James Conner get hurt? That's such an oddity.
That's the greatest fears of James Conner came true again, and he's out for the rest of the year, unfortunately. So that being said, next man up, Trey Benson gets the nod. The other problem they have right now is Marvin Harrison Jr. seems to have a case of can't catch the ball.
I can catch it.
Dropped some really easy catches yesterday, maybe at least one for sure, but there was a couple. So I think he'll work it out. He's from a good pedigree, not worried about it. On the other side of the ball, Sam Darnold looked good. Jackson Smith and Jigba is pretty much the only wide receiver. Cooper Kupp hasn't done much to start out. They got to get him going. Kenneth Walker looked great. And like you said, Seattle was playing a really bad team, so are we going to really get an answer of where Seattle's at? No. But now they're traveling to Arizona. Arizona's a tough team. They're 2-1 as we speak. And I think Arizona's going to get it done. I'm going to take Arizona -1 at home in a division battle. I think they're going to figure it out on all aspects. I think that Trey Benson's going to do well, and this team overall in a division tilt is going to tilt towards Arizona Cardinals -1. Boom.
All right. Set your alarms for early Sunday morning. Live from Dublin, get your Guinness. It's okay. It's Vegas. You can drink at 6:30 in the morning here in Vegas. No judgments. The Minnesota Vikings are traveling across the globe to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in this matchup, the Vikings are going to be the 3-point favorite road dogs. Well, not road dogs, road team. Although, again, you can pick sides, home and away, but everybody's away in Dublin.
It's out of the country game, and it's always tricky. I mean, I can tell you now from a betting standpoint, it's very tricky. I would say that New England basically gave the game away yesterday against Pittsburgh, fumbling the ball multiple times, especially on the goal line, whereas on the flip side, Aaron Rodgers had his moments, but where are they going to find the offense? Their defense looked okay, but like I said, they were opportunistic by some mistakes by Ramondre Stevenson. So that being said, Carson Wentz, I think, is going to have a case of the yips against Aaron Rodgers, who's been there, done that, had multiple games, out of the country. And in this case, I'm going to give the tilt to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. They're going to get it done. I'm going to take the points. +3, take the Steelers, +3. They're going to get it done. Aaron Rodgers is going to move on to be 3-1. And I think that shocks a lot of people, but it's early. Minnesota, of course, they did look good yesterday, but Cincinnati basically gave the game away over and over again with turnover after turnover for defensive touchdowns. So if you had the Minnesota Vikings yesterday, you were super happy about your fantasy football team with Minnesota. But otherwise, I still am not a believer in Carson Wentz and Minnesota yet. I think Pittsburgh is going to make it happen.
Way to shit on our editor's favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. Let's go to some normal football times at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Let's start with the Philadelphia Eagles on the road, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philly 3-point favorites, and fortunes were won and lost in that last seconds of the Eagles game yesterday. Insane how a point spread can be so affected by this is the oddity of a blocked field goal for return for a touchdown, which we had 2 last week.
Yeah, there was all kinds of block kicks. There was 3 or 4 blocked field goals and 2 for touchdowns, which is pretty rare. That's rare. This is going to be interesting because now all of a sudden you have a situation where Mike Evans went out yesterday, middle of the game, and I don't know if he's going to be back this week. I would think maybe not. That's very tentative, so follow that. I wouldn't put any wagers in this game until you know more about what Mike Evans' status is. Chris Godwin might be the surprise that would be coming back this week potentially.
Maybe accelerate him now.
Yeah, will it happen? I don't know. Emeka Mbuka is still the shining star in this offense. He's looking really good as a rookie. He's making things happen and holding things down well. Chris Godwin is gone. You got Bucky Irving, who looks really good. And Baker Mayfield, what can you say about the guy? Even after
his interview was great.
All the guy does is win football games. He's gritty. He is. If I have a word for Baker Mayfield, it's gritty, because after that block kick for a touchdown, minute 49 left, and all of a sudden the Jets are winning, and he came back, easy peasy, got him in field goal range, boom. This week is a different story. Now, Tampa Bay is one team that has had the Philadelphia Eagles number over the last few times that they played.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tampa Bay was at a different, point, as a franchise then, different quarterback situations. But Tampa Bay does have quite a bit of veterans on it that were there to beat the Eagles. So I feel like Tampa Bay, of any of the teams, they're not a team that's intimidated by the Eagles. But what is worrisome is the injuries on the side of the ball for Tampa Bay. Philadelphia, once again, they looked really rough in the first half. There was calls for people saying the offense coordinator should get fired after the first few weeks, how it was super poor. They weren't getting going. In this case, they got going in the second half. Saquon Barkley still hasn't had one of his monster games at all. But this team is just finding a way to get it done and stack W's. They did it in a really tough situation yesterday, and they're going to get it done again. The Philadelphia Eagles, if you're thinking they're going to lose, it's not happening in week 4. Take Philly -3 to cover against Tampa Bay due to the injuries and the fact that I think Philly is going to figure it out this week, and all things are going to be firing perfectly for them, and they're going to control this ball game and get it done. Philly, double-digit victory. Boom.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Fly, Eagles, fly. Boom.
All right, we have our next game, which might be the early favorite for most lopsided match of the week, or the week, and also of the season. The New Orleans Saints get the luxury of visiting the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a meager 16.5-point favorites at home right now upon recording of this podcast.
Yeah, after seeing the Saints get whipped by Seattle, obviously the sports books are like, how high are we gonna have to put this to actually get people to bet the other way? I took Miami last week, for you guys, plus 12.5 against Buffalo, and that hit perfectly. I said 7 to 10 points would be the victory margin. It landed right on 10. This week in Buffalo, you are gonna see a drumming. They are gonna rock the Saints. The Buffalo Bills will have no problem in this game. They're going to cover the spread. We're going to keep it as simple as that. Take the Buffalo Bills -16.5 all day long. Boom.
Let's keep moving on Sunday morning to the Carolina Panthers at New England Patriots, with the Patriots being the 5.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, the Patriots, they were their own worst enemy yesterday. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled the ball twice, and he didn't see the field again, I don't think. They need to activate Travion Henderson, the rookie second-rounder. Was second fiddle yesterday. He was actually, Gibson came in, and Travion Henderson was third string, which is crazy to me. Mike Vrabel's a, great player, has a great pedigree. I think he's a good coach. He might be stubborn in his own little ways. Drake May looked great for the first 3 weeks. This defense looks solid, and they were the better team against Pittsburgh yesterday. So like I said, now you got Carolina on the other side of the ball, 30-0 against Atlanta. That's so Atlanta's got their issues over there. See what, we'll talk more about that later. But for Carolina in this case, I think yesterday was a fluke. really bad play all around by Atlanta that led to this whole situation. Carolina walking into New England. The Patriots are going to figure it out. I think that Drake May is on the right path. They're utilizing the tight end really well. Hunter Henry had a beast of a game. Austin Hooper is a nice compliment on that side too. But Drake May is the guy that I'm betting on. Take the New England Patriots, -5.5 to get it done. No problem. Boom.
All right, Washington Commanders in still my team's New York Giants, NFC East Division, but the Commanders are at the Atlanta Falcons, and the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, but 2.5-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Washington Commanders just beat the brakes off of the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, and the Raiders did not look good by any means. Ashton Genty looked a little bit better in that game, but I think the patience are wearing thin. I think people had these a little bit of hope for the Raiders this year, especially coming out, winning week 1, and since then it has been pretty. On the other side of the ball, the Atlanta Falcons losing 30-0 on the road to probably the worst team in football, one would think, at least going into yesterday. Now they're at home, and the questions are already coming out. The coach was asked yesterday, is Kirk Cousins going to get a chance to compete for the starting job? And he said very specifically, no. Literally, very seriously. Michael Penix is going to be fine, okay? He's young. They're going to go back home where Atlanta is going to be able to perform better in a better environment. They still have Bijan Robinson last time I checked. Drake London is super talented, and his defense, when they were at home the last game, ate big time and was sacking everybody all over the place. So bottom line, don't panic. The Atlanta Falcons +2.5 at home. I'm going to take the home dog +2.5 Atlanta to get it done. No reason to push the panic button. Boom.
Let's move on to the next one that might actually have a little bit of a sore subject for you. And by the way, you guys know my friend here is a big Packers fan. If you think he talks about the Packers team too much, let me know by hitting that like button right now. I'll make sure to keep a note of that. But the Cleveland Browns, coming off a rather big game against your Green Bay Packers, are now on the road at another division rival, the Detroit Lions. The Lions are are favored by 8.5 points here.
Yeah, this is the one.
And, sorry to cut you off, but mind you, we're recording this before the Lions have played the Ravens tonight. So keep in mind, if anything major should happen that affects this, like a player going out for the season, we'll try and update you, so make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, that's the one tricky part, recording a little bit early ahead of the game, because we saw the Lions in week 1 look terrible, and then week 2 they beat the Bears. But then again, what does that mean exactly? Now week 3 against the Baltimore Ravens, where's that going to lie? With the information I have, we know this. The Cleveland Browns have a pretty mediocre to poor offense, but a stellar defense. A defense that ranks top 3 in most categories across the board. They were looking good even before Green Bay, and they improved and did even better against Green Bay. That being said, the offense is still stagnant, and they did not score a point till I believe it was inside of 5 minutes is when they got their first points in the fourth quarter, and you all know the result. The Browns end up winning the game. The Detroit Lions at home are a savage team. Dan Campbell has them fired up, and they just electrify when they're at home. In this case, we're going to go with the Detroit Lions -8.5. They have too many weapons, and I think their defense is going to be solid against a anemic Browns offense. Take the Lions -8.5. Boom.
All right, let's go to the second of our last 10 a.m. games. The Tennessee Titans are at the Houston Texans. I got them both right.
Good job, Mike.
I get those. If you've watched for a long time, it's the Houston Astros and the Tennessee Giants. I don't know what I usually say. Houston Texans are a touchdown extra point favorite at home, -7.
Cam Ward had a rough start yesterday. He started off throwing a pick 6 to Indy, and that was pretty much the trend for the day. The Colts went on to 3-0, and your Daniel Jones is maybe arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, statistically, it's hard to debate that. Cam Ward, on the other hand, he's still in the learning curve. He made mistakes. They didn't look great. Tony Pollard's not getting a whole lot of production. Calvin Ridley, against the chagrin of all fantasy owners, he's not doing a whole ton. This team is definitely not good. But on the other side of the ball, C.J. Stroud is not exactly playing well. He had his, freshman inaugural year, that was outstanding last year, rough. People are hoping, okay, they're low on him this year, and he's starting off slow again. This front four, this defense for Houston is really good, but the offensive line can't seem to block for him very well, and he's making a lot of mistakes. His completion percentage is poor. They don't have really any kind of a run game because Nick Chubb has lost another gear, and Joe Mixon is MIA, injured or something's going on there. Nico Collins is the one bright spot on offense, but they need someone else to step up at wide receiver, and right now they don't have that, and they don't have a solid tight end that's performing. Therefore, this Houston team is pretty stagnant, but at home this is a different team, and they're playing against a team in Tennessee that is struggling, to say the least. I think that C.J. Stroud's going to right the ship this game. I think C.J. Stroud throws for 3 touchdowns this week, and I think they probably even run for 1. So look for the Texans to get back on track, putting up 28-plus points against this Tennessee Titans team that's going to continue to struggle. Take the Texans. Seems like a lot of points. It is. What have the Texans done to earn 7 points at home or anywhere? But that tells you how bad the Tennessee Titans are. Take the Texans -7. Boom.
And the last morning game will be the LA Chargers on the road to my New York Giants. Chargers, hey, my hopes this week in betting were on the Chargers. They made me sweat it out until the end this week. The Giants, I don't know. I'm debating 36 years of fandom right now. There needs to be a management change. There needs to be a coaching change. There needs to be a quarterback change. But the Chargers, somehow, I guess maybe due to how that last game was this Sunday, are only 5.5-point favorites against the Giants on the road.
Jim Harbaugh's got it going. The Chargers are sitting nicely at 3-0, first place in the division. Justin Herbert is playing great. All around great statistics. And you know why? Because he has Keenan Allen back, trusty Keenan Allen. But Quentin Johnston, that's the key guy to talk about. Wide receiver, rookie last year, couldn't catch a ball, couldn't do anything right.
Yep.
Now, the guy is showing out, making big plays, big catches. On the negative side, they lost Najee Harris yesterday to a torn Achilles. So trusty Najee Harris that, is a solid guy. He's not a lot of flash, in the world of fantasy especially, but he gets it done. He's a good leader. And in this case, he's out for the rest of the year. So in comes next man up, Omarion Hampton. And he's been kind of like, if you're a fantasy owner and you have Omarion Hampton, you haven't been happy the first couple of weeks. He just hasn't done much. But he's a rookie. He looked a little better yesterday. In the fantasy world, he got a good chunk of points. He got a touchdown. And I think it's only going to be up and away. He has too much talent for him not to get it done. So look for him to improve as the weeks go on. But this team is so solid. Now you obviously go to the New York Giants side of the ball. Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback this week. It sounds like Jackson Dart, they left the door
He was
open.
non-committal when he was asked that question.
Yeah, he left the door wide open earlier today, and Adam Schefter reported that basically it's possible he could be the quarterback going forward this week at least.
But do you put him in against the Chargers or the following matchup against the Saints?
It's a good question. We'll see, but they got to throw him to the fire somewhere. And I don't know if it's going to be this week, but Malik Neighbors couldn't get the ball. I mean, they could not. Russell Wilson was throwing to the soda guy and the popcorn guy and to the camera guys, but he wasn't throwing the ball on the field. It was more so out of the end zone. It was insane. He was throwing these lollipops up for free interceptions. Yeah. The one bright light is Cam Skattebo right now. He was the offense yesterday, and going forward, they're going to need him because now you're running into a situation where, Mr. Tyrone Tracy, he's going to be out a while. So with his shoulder injury, I believe, I don't know if it's a dislocated shoulder, I believe, that's going to be problematic. So in comes next man up, Cam Skattebo, to get the brunt of the carries going forward. This Giants team is bad. Can they get better with Jackson Dart? We will find out. It does worry me a little bit. The line's only 5.5.
Yeah.
The Chargers are better than the Chiefs, okay? And the Chiefs handled them pretty well. But then again, the Giants got in their own way a couple times against the Chiefs. So I don't know where it's at, but this line is a little bit scary to me at 5.5 because I feel like it should be a little more. but it is a road game. It's traveling West Coast to East Coast. No way in the world I'm taking the Giants. Feel free to stay away from betting this game, but if you like it, roll with me. Chargers -5.5. I don't see a path that they don't cover. Boom.
All right, we're already halfway through all the games for Week 4, and we got 4 afternoon games, starting with the Jacksonville Jaguars at the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites despite getting even more injuries and losing players this week and having to pull off a really weird comeback at the end of yesterday's game.
Yeah, breaking news just a little while before we started recording. Nick Bosa is out for the year with a torn ACL again. Same knee, he did it the first time, so that's huge loss in the defensive side of the ball. Mac Jones got beat up yesterday. He was gimping around and jersey was torn, but he was a warrior. I mean, he fought hard. Brock Purdy is possibly going to play this week, so we're going to find out where that's going to go. But either one, I don't see a downside either way. I mean, I think whichever one plays won't change anything. Christian McCaffrey, he's getting a lot of work right now. He's healthy, and fantasy owners are loving hearing that. They're giving him a ton of work because they need him.
They need him. Go to right now.
I mean, no Jennings yesterday. Ricky Parasol didn't do a whole ton. No Kittle for another couple weeks. But they're finding a way. They're 3-0. Somehow
they're 3-0.
Somehow they are 3-0. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. But this team, San Francisco's going to get it done. Travis Etienne Jr. had an okay game. He got a touchdown yesterday, but overall didn't do great. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, very underwhelming. Brian Thomas Jr. has been a letdown all year long. I just don't see where they're going to get the offense to keep up with San Francisco. I think San Fran at home, Christian McCaffrey, this offense is going to definitely overwhelm the defense, which is mediocre for Jacksonville. It's a rookie coach going into San Francisco against Kyle Shanahan. No-brainer. Take the San Francisco 49ers, -3.5. Take it to the bank all day long. Boom.
Second, 1:05 p.m. Sunday game. Here's a matchup you may not have thought much about preseason if you saw the schedule. The Indianapolis Colts are visiting the LA Rams, with the Rams only being a 3.5-point favorite. Wouldn't have thought the Colts would be only 3.5-point underdogs to anybody going into the season. But like you mentioned earlier, Daniel Jones, MVP of the season so far. Jonathan Taylor looking great. The Colts are scary for real, I think.
I mean, Daniel Jones is playing lights out. It's wild. I mean,
tip my New York Giants hat to Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones statistically is the top of the list, as far as all the quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He's not making mistakes. He's putting up yardage. He's leading this team. He's running. He's doing everything right. On the others, then you got Jonathan Taylor running the ball. He's off to a great start, rushing for a ton of yards. Big game yesterday, some breakaway touchdowns. The key also is this young tight end, Tyler Warren, for the Colts. Came in. He's been a huge aspect. This guy is super talented, super athletic. He looks good. They're still trying to get Josh Downs going, but Michael Pittman has actually done all right this year as well. This defense is looking good. They're not making mistakes. All positive things. Now, on the other side of the ball, you get the Rams. The Rams literally they were beating up the Eagles yesterday. The first half, just owning them. And they fell apart a little bit at the end there. It's the Eagles, defending champions. It can happen. It's very rare to be up 3 scores and to lose a game. That's what the Rams did. But on a very bright side, Puka Nacua continues to shine. Looks great. Devontae Adams, he's fitting in nicely. When he went to the Jets, it was the Jets, of course, but it didn't work out. With this matchup of Puka and Devontae, it could be huge. And then you factor in a solid running game with Kyren Williams. Matt Stafford is the X factor. He's old bone Stafford, but so far the back's holding up. He's holding up. He's making good decisions. And this defense is looking good as well. Obviously, they're coached by one of the top coaches in the NFL, and Sean McVay. They're at home. Indy's traveling to the West Coast. Unfortunately, Indy Colts fans, you're not going to be happy with this one. We're going to take the LA Rams -3.5 all day long. Take it to the bank. Sorry, Daniel Jones. It's going to be your first hiccup. You're going to 3-1. You'll be okay. The Rams, on the other hand, will get off the schneid After their one loss, it'll end there. They'll be 3-1. Boom.
Moving right along to the third game starting at 1:25 p.m. And I'm confused by this, so explain it to me. It's the Chicago, or should I say the Bears at the Raiders. Bears coming off of beating up Dallas. But somehow the Raiders are 1-point favorites at home. So how does the team who drubbed somebody be the underdog against a team who just took a drubbing?
Well, the way the NFL's been, it's wild, right? It's a wild thing. Who is Caleb Williams? Is he a good quarterback? Is he not a good quarterback? Is he somewhere in between? Is he a result of a great head coach that is leading him? After the first 2 weeks, you would have thought that they were just finished. They came out at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Caleb Williams looked phenomenal. This team looked good. The problem is the Bears' defense. This defense is probably screwed. Bottom line, the Bears' defense is going to be problematic going forward. But they do have a great head coach that has a lot of things up his sleeve. This offense is looking really good. Rome Odunze has taken a definite step forward. DeAndre Swift looks solid. If Caleb can keep the ship righted, now they're going into Las Vegas, where Geno Smith is actually statistically looking good. I mean, if you look at his stats overall, he's done some good things. He's put up yards, but the Raiders do Raiders-like things and make mistakes. Turnovers, they're still not getting the running game fired up. Gentry is going to eventually get going, and I think it's going to be sooner than later. He's going to probably do pretty well against this Bears defense this week. The question is can the Raiders defense stop the Bears and what they got going with this great new head coach? It's a tough call. It literally is a true coin toss game. I would probably just avoid this one outright. But if you have to go with it, I'm leaning towards Chicago. I'm going to go to Chicago Bears, take the 1 point, Chicago +1, and they're going to get done in the kind of the battle of, it's a little bit better than a toilet bowl game, but right now, it's pretty weak. So we're trying to figure out who's who. Okay, the Raiders, who's their identity right now? They don't look too good. The Bears, coming off a win against Dallas, was it just because it's Dallas, or are they actually going to turn the corner and actually, right the ship? For now, Bears +1, boom.
Last afternoon game, Baltimore Ravens on the road at the Kansas City Chiefs, probably planned as a marquee matchup. Not saying it's not, but interesting games for both teams so far. I mean, the Chiefs didn't look necessarily dominant against the Giants. I mean, you would think they could have put up a lot more points considering what Dallas could do. Anyway, but the Ravens are going to right now get the edge at 2.5 points on the road in Kansas City.
Ravens -2.5 is really a weird line. I mean, I know that the Chiefs have always found a way over the X amount of years, and I think Vegas is scared to really increase that anymore. It's tough. We're going to see Baltimore play tonight. That's the other thing, too. This is the other game that's Monday night. We're recording this now. I would love to be able to see what the Ravens do. By the time this video comes out,
that line might change, right? If
the
they
line might change.
Yeah,
if they crush the line. So, I mean, this will either come out late tonight, Monday night, or it'll be out by Tuesday morning. So by then you'll have an idea what the Ravens did against the Lions and be able to assess based on that. But what I'm seeing right now, like I said, I picked the Ravens to beat the Lions tonight and cover, personally. And as far as the Ravens overall and how they're playing, I don't see a path that this beat-up team, I mean, okay, the Chiefs do not have their two top receivers. Pachenko is running like dog crap. The offensive line's not blocking well. Heck, one of their offensive linemen can't even get off the ball without false starting just about every single time. Travis Kelce's fighting with his coach on the sidelines. Patrick Mahomes is whining a little bit more the last 3 weeks than we're used to seeing him do. At least they got the win, so you didn't have to go into full pout mode. But this team, the Giants just made mistakes. I mean, literally, they went without a kicker until I think Gannell kicked a short kick at the end.
In the third quarter, I think it was.
Yeah, whatever.
Half.
Yeah, in the third quarter, fourth, whatever it was, got a field goal. But that and just some missed opportunities for the Giants. If they were playing anybody else pretty much that weekend, they probably would have lost because their play was not up to snuff.
You're welcome, Chiefs fans.
It was the Giants that basically gave the game away. I don't feel like at any point the Chiefs really took charge. It's just they were playing a team. I mean, okay, I'll give credit where credit's due. The Chiefs' defense was good. Okay, they locked down Malik Neighbors, and Cam Scadaboo getting his 60 yards, rushing and whatever was the top. So
can they lock down the Ravens?
And that's the thing. The Ravens is a whole different team, and the answer is no. They can't lock down the Ravens. Forget about it. Baltimore Ravens -2.5. Take it to the bank. Gamble it away. It's not even a gamble. Free money raining from the skies. Bottom line, Ravens all day long. Mortgage the house. Boom.
I'm going to put in a disclaimer, so I'm going to do a preparing. Okay, finishing up Sunday night, we got a pretty decently big matchup, important for a few reasons. It's important to Packers fans like you, because you guys want to get right after that loss to the Browns. You're 6-point favorites on the road, visiting the Dallas Cowboys, and you're bringing along with you Micah Parsons, recently removed from the Cowboys. Fully expect him to get booed and just thrown to the wolves by the fans, even though he said, hey, I'd like to make some money playing for a team with a chance to win. And that is the matchup we go into at 5:20 on Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers, like Micah Parsons said, sometimes you just crap the bed. And that's what they basically did yesterday on the offensive side of the ball. The defense was stellar. Okay, I'm not going to blame the defense at all. Micah was good. The defense all around was good. But they had some problem on the offensive line blocking for Jordan Love. He made a bad pass, and you saw a result. The Packers lost, okay? They're going to be fine. On the other end of the ball, you got the Dallas Cowboys, where CeeDee Lamb has a high ankle sprain, they reported today, and he's definitely probably 99% going to miss this week's game. He's probably going to have to get assessed and be out probably at least a good number of couple weeks. Okay, that's the likelihood of a high ankle sprain. This Packer team is super talented. Everyone's like wanting Jordan Love's head, as if he's just like, here they're talking, he's third ranked in the MVP rating going into this week. And then now it's like, oh, he's terrible. Like, it's amazing how everyone the ebbs and flows. Relax, okay? Green Bay is going to be fine. Their offense is going to be fine. Their defense still hasn't given up a point in regulation. That clock was at 0. They had no point trailed with time on the clock, okay, against the Browns. It's unfortunate. In fact, they have not trailed 1 minute of football the first 3 weeks. That's the bottom line. The Cowboys, of course, they, without CeeDee Lamb, they're already struggling, okay? This team's defense, I mean, Exhibit A against the Chicago Bears. The Bears look like a Hall of Fame team against this terrible defense in Dallas. Green Bay, they are Dallas's daddy, okay? Green Bay has owned Dallas since Aaron Rodgers has been quarterback there, and it's continued with Jordan Love. It is going to continue even further. Take Green Bay, -6, to the bank, all day long, boom. It's going to be a bloodbath. Everyone's going to be talking up the Packers once again. No one's really panicked, or I should say that some people are panicked on them. Some people are panicked on Jordan Love. Everyone just relax, as Aaron Rodgers used to say. Take the Green Bay Packers, -6. Boom.
And that will bring us to Monday night, where once again we have 2 Monday night games, starting within an hour of each other. And if you're a fan of these teams, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. For the rest of you, maybe check the movie listings, see what's playing at the cinema. Take the wife out, take the girlfriend out. Go get a girlfriend, take her out. Just do something, because not too much happening here. But start with the New York Jets on the road at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins, okay, had a little bit of a scare with the Bills. Kind of, maybe not gut check time, but there was a few punches there that made him a bit woozy. Dolphins almost pulled that off, but they are 2.5-point favorites against the Jets.
So you got a little situation going on here. You got Mike McDaniels. People are wondering, when's the shoe going to drop and is he going to get fired soon? If he would lose to the Jets this week, I say it's potential. But will he lose to the Jets? Let's break it down. Justin Fields did not play, concussion protocol. We had Tyrod Taylor. Breece Hall hasn't done much either overall for the whole year, for the 3 games. Garrett Wilson's been pretty solid, pretty much the only solid constant for this team. The defense side of the ball, they've done some good things. Obviously, you saw yesterday they had the blocked field goal for a touchdown, but they fell short anyway. Miami, on the other side, they did look good at different points against the Bills in Buffalo. Considering their history, they definitely look much better than they have in past years. I mean, I think that this Miami team at home, this is a gut check right here. This is like, they got to win this game or forget about it. They're just done. Okay, I mean, I think their coach will get fired, and this team will start selling off pieces to the highest bidder, maybe, perhaps. But
Tyreek finally goes back to the Chiefs.
Let's hope not. Don't help the Chiefs. Seriously, no one helped the Chiefs this year. Let them figure it out on their own. No freebies. This Miami team, though, at home, they got pride, and I feel like they took a step forward last week. I think Waddle's getting healthier. Achane looked good. Tua did okay. This team has ability and talent on offense. The question is, can their defense step it up? Because their defense can't seem to do a whole lot. They didn't do terrible against Josh Allen and the Bills. They gave up a lot of running yards, a lot of rushing yards. But this Miami team at home against the Jets, if your franchise ever needs the right to chip, play the Jets. Take the Miami Dolphins -2.5 all day long to the bank as the 5th take of the bank pick of the week, and it's going to be a good one. Miami Dolphins -2.5. Boom.
All right. And an hour later, start time of 5:15 p.m., we have the Cincinnati Bengals on the road at the Denver Broncos. Broncos are a 7-point favorite. I'm not sure what there is to say about the Bengals and Browning and the hopes for the future right now. If they're going to pull anything out until Joe Burrow makes it back, maybe in December, right? That's about 8 weeks, maybe late November.
No, Joe Burrow's.
Is it?
No, Joe.
Oh, is he out?
Let's start over.
Okay, I thought.
If he comes back, don't even bring up Joe Burrow, because if he comes back, it wouldn't be till the end of December or January.
Oh, I was going to lead in like can Browning, give you a feed, can Browning fix anything up? Okay, that's fine. I was going to be, okay, I'll do this way. 5:15 p.m., the Cincinnati Bengals are on the road at the Denver Broncos, your second of the 2 Monday night games. The Broncos are 7-point favorites at home, and looking at this game makes me want to say, Tulsa King's back, and I might be watching that tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Great Stallone show on Peacock, unsolicited, or Paramount.
Paramount.
They're all the same thing.
Tulsa King, highly recommend.
Might be more exciting and more action-packed than this game, but we got to pick it. 7 points, favorite at home, Broncos against the Browns.
I mean, Cincinnati looked so bad yesterday. I think every single person on that team had a turnover. Whether it was Fumblerooski, it was crazy. Like Cincinnati, before halftime, were driving and had a chance to narrow it down to just a couple point lead for Minnesota and get the ball start second half. Just as they were talking about that, they turned the ball over for a touchdown, defensive touchdown, and then from there it was off the rails. This Bengals team has a ton of talent. I've said it over and over, but now they're missing Joe Burrow. And can Jake Browning right the ship to at least somehow salvage a season? Against Minnesota, it looked like that's not a possibility. Now they're going to go to Denver, a tough place to play, where Bo Nix is figuring it out. I mean, he didn't have a particularly great game yesterday, but this Denver team looked solid against a very good Charger team, and they're, especially being in LA. Denver, J.K. Dobbins looked really good. He took a step forward. I'm liking this receiving core for Denver, and I'm liking the coach. Sean Payne knows how to win. The guy's, he's a winner, and that's what he does. I picked Denver to be in a, kind of in the 1-2 mix as far as in their division, and I think Denver's a playoff team as well. Cincinnati, as of right now, is showing me nothing to think that they're going to be a playoff team whatsoever. 7 points is a lot. I mean, Denver hasn't done a ton this year to definitely earn a 7-point spread, but that's because that's how Vegas feels about Cincinnati after their walloping against Minnesota. I don't see any reason I can go the other direction. Until Cincinnati shows and Jake Browning shows that he can lead this offense and this team can play better defense, which they seem to be incapable of, We're going to go all day long to the Denver Broncos, -7. They're going to cover it. They're going to get it done. Take the Broncos, -7. Boom.
Kind of feels like football this week is ending with a dud. A couple of good matchups, but a couple of stinkers. Although I kind of want to watch the Saints take on the Bills and just see how high the counter can go on the scoreboard because.
Well, when we have Josh Allen as our fantasy quarterback.
Bonus content. If you're a fantasy football player, if you got Josh Allen, are you worried he doesn't play past the third quarter?
If that's the case, then you're not worried because he already put up enough stats that you're happy anyway.
Unless it's James Cook rushing for 4 touchdowns.
Right, that's problematic, which it very well could be. But either way, can't wait for this weekend, week 4.
Good luck, Josh Allen fantasy owners, this upcoming week. Good luck, all fantasy owners. Unless you're playing against us, then we hope you guys all have a few players questionable who don't show up for the game. We'll see you next week at the start of the week for week 5, believe it or not. 25% of the way through the NFL season. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you in a week.
All right, until next time, guys, take it to the bank. Boom.